Welcome to Dojo.
Check out Joe, he's a Reddit bro, likes to edit posts, and he starts to gloat when he gets the most of votes or likes. Yeah, he's really hyped, really psyched, cause the crowd is really tight and the work is really light. His training plan is the first thing your eyes see, cause he got more follows than my boy Eric Dicey. Opinions on Magnus, Hans, and Karyakin, who cheated who, which engine that he hacking. He got blocked by Short, ignored by Dvorak, but he can't be wrong, he scored a like from Truong. He's got lightning attacks on GM blunders and gaffes, true not over the board, it's only the other chap. Still his 7-year plan ensures the last laugh. Distractions detract from any actual actions. Excuses are useless, he rues his inaction. Awaits satisfaction, the status of Magnus. He bought 50 books and opened up 10. Fools ought to read Psalms, not my system. He's got 30 alt accounts on every site around. Chessable courses keep looking cheaper by the pound. He got 22 databases and 36 engines, 25 chess sets, and a massive clock collection. He bought merch from Gotham, Bra and Naka, but his game history looked like some chess copy pasta. A GM coach that he don't listen to, and if you think it is, then yes, my friend, yes, this is you. But that all changed one bright sunny day when a friend said, hey, don't you know, welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. Sweatwork's what I believe, ratings what I'll receive. Don't you know, welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I stepped away from easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. If sweatwork's what I believe, ratings what I'll receive. So Joe got into the business, stopped the app sickness, daily practices rhythm, he even upped his fitness. He found sparring cathartic, postmortems charming. With the plus equal minus, he was armed for elo farming. With notepad and pen, he built up calluses, estate rating paralysis. With lengthy game analysis, with sensei direction, he sold his collection. Read one classic and that was fantastic. Now he locked to the spot where they checking off boxes. Young prodigies and some wily old foxes. 3.5 points per box, that's shocking progress. Goal nearing, cohort cheering, Joe doesn't hear it. He's monotasking, no relaxing, concentration maxing. One book, one board, one set, one thought. Work will work will work, work never stop. One book, one board, one set, one thought. Work will work will work, work never stop. Now occasionally he peeps the world of the tweet and laughs when he sees the player that he used to be. Blank face staring, complex plans comparing, while he's dojo training hours a day, playing out positions, transpositions, and growing his board vision. Transition from poser to player, focus without a care. He leaves them complaining in his dust, staying with their week-old ratings. Blast past his week-old rating, each week's a new occasion. He never takes vacation, the work is entertaining, the growth he's maintaining. And now Joe is explaining, hey, don't you know, welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. If sweatwork's what I believe, ratings what I'll receive. Don't you know, welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. If sweatwork's what I believe, ratings what I'll receive. Welcome to the dojo.
Welcome to Dojo.
Check out Joe, he's a Reddit bro, likes to edit posts, and he starts to gloat when he gets the most of votes or likes. Yeah, he's really hyped, really psyched, cause the crowd is really tight and the work is really light. His training plan is the first thing your eyes see, cause he got more follows than my boy Eric Dicey. Opinions on Magnus, Hans, and Karyakin, who cheated who, which engine that he hacking. He got blocked by Short, ignored by Dvorak, but he can't be wrong, he scored a like from Truong. He's got lightning attacks on GM blunders and gaffes, true not over the board, it's only the other chat. Still his 7-year plan ensures the last laugh. Distractions detract from any actual actions. Excuses are useless, he rues his inaction. Awaits satisfaction, the status of Magnus. He bought 50 books and opened up 10. Fools ought to read Psalms, not my system. He's got 30 alt accounts on every site around. Chessable courses keep looking cheaper by the pound. He got 22 databases and 36 engines, 25 chess sets, and a massive clock collection. He bought merch from Gotham, Bra and Naka, but his game history looked like some chess copy pasta. A GM coach that he don't listen to, and if you think it is, then yes, my friend, yes, this is you. But that all changed one bright sunny day when a friend said, hey, don't you know? Welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. Sweatwork's what I believe, waiting's what I'll receive. Don't you know? Welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I stepped away from easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. If sweatwork's what I believe, waiting's what I'll receive. So Joe got into the business, stopped the app sickness, daily practices rhythm, he even upped his fitness. He found sparring cathartic, postmortems charming. With the plus equal minus, he was armed for elo farming. With notepad and pen, he built up calluses, escape rating paralysis with lengthy game analysis. With sensei direction, he sold his collection. Read one classic and that was fantastic. Now he locked to the spot where they checking off boxes. Young prodigies and some wily old foxes. 3.5 points per box, that's shocking progress. Goal nearing, cohort cheering, Joe doesn't hear it. He's monotasking, no relaxing, concentration maxing. One book, one board, one set, one thought. Work will work will work, work never stop. One book, one board, one set, one thought. Work will work will work, work never stop. Now occasionally he peeps the world of the tweet and laughs when he sees the player that he used to be. Blank face staring, complex plans comparing while he's dojo training. Hours a day playing out positions, transpositions, and growing his board vision. Transition from poser to player, focus without a care. He leaves them complaining in his dust, staying with their week-old ratings. Blast past his week-old rating, each week's a new occasion. He never takes vacation, the work is entertaining, the growth he's maintaining. And now Joe is explaining, hey, don't you know? Welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. If sweatwork's what I believe, waiting's what I'll receive. Don't you know? Welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. If sweatwork's what I believe, rating's what I'll receive. Welcome to the dojo.
Welcome to the dojo.
Check out Joe, he's a Reddit bro, likes to edit posts, and he starts to gloat when he gets the most of votes or likes. Yeah, he's really hyped, really psyched, cause the crowd is really tight and the work is really light. His training plan is the first thing your eyes see, cause he got more follows than my boy Eric Dicey. Opinions on Magnus, Hans, and Karyakin. Who cheated who, which engine that he hacking. He got blocked by Short, ignored by Dvorak, but he can't be wrong. He scored a like from Truong. He's got lightning attacks on GM blunders and gaffes. True, not over the board, it's only the other chat. Still his 7-year plan ensures the last laugh. Distractions detract from any actual actions. Excuses are useless, he rues his inaction. Awaits satisfaction, the status of Magnus. He bought 50 books and opened up 10. Fools ought to read Psalms, not my system. He's got 30 alt accounts on every site around. Chessable courses keep looking cheaper by the pound. He got 22 databases and 36 engines, 25 chess sets, and a massive clock collection. He bought merch from Gotham, Bra and Naka, but his game history looked like some chess copy pasta. A GM coach that he don't listen to, and if you think it is, then yes, my friend, yes, this is you. But that all changed one bright sunny day when a friend said, hey, don't you know? Welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. Sweatwork's what I believe, waiting's what I'll receive. Don't you know? Welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I stepped away from easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. If sweatwork's what I believe, rating's what I'll receive. So Joe got into the business, stopped the app sickness, daily practices rhythm, he even upped his fitness. He found sparring cathartic, postmortems charming. With the plus equal minus, he was armed for elo farming. With notepad and pen, he built up calluses, escape rating paralysis with lengthy game analysis. With sensei direction, he sold his collection. Read one classic and that was fantastic. Now he locked to the spot where they checking off boxes. Young prodigies and some wily old foxes. 3.5 points per box, that's shocking progress. Goal nearing, cohort cheering, Joe doesn't hear it. He's monotasking, no relaxing, concentration maxing. One book, one board, one set, one thought. Work will work will work, work never stop. One book, one board, one set, one thought. Work will work will work, work never stop. Now occasionally he peeps the world of the tweet and laughs when he sees the player that he used to be. Blank face staring, complex plans comparing while he's dojo training. Hours a day playing out positions, transpositions, and growing his board vision. Transition from poser to player, focus without a care. He leaves them complaining in his dust, staying with their week-old ratings. Blast past his week-old rating, each week's a new occasion. He never takes vacation, the work is entertaining, the growth he's maintaining. And now Joe is explaining, hey, don't you know? Welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I give up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need you, if Sweatwork's what I believe, ratings what I'll receive. Don't you know? Welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need you, if Sweatwork's what I believe, ratings what I'll receive. Welcome to the dojo!
Welcome to the dojo.
Check out Joe, he's a Reddit bro, likes to edit posts, and he starts to gloat when he gets the most of votes or likes. Yeah, he's really hyped, really psyched, cause the crowd is really tight and the work is really light. His training plan is the first thing your eyes see, cause he got more follows than my boy Eric Dicey. Opinions on Magnus, Hans, and Karyakin, who cheated who, which engine that he hacking. He got blocked by Short, ignored by Dvorak, but he can't be wrong, he scored a like from Truan. He's got lightning attacks on GM blunders and gaffes, true not over the board, it's only the other chap. Still his 7-year plan ensures the last laugh. Distractions detract from any actual actions. Excuses are useless, he rues his inaction. Awaits satisfaction, the status of Magnus. He bought 50 books and opened up 10. Fools ought to read Psalms, not my system. He's got 30 all accounts on every site around. Chessable courses keep looking cheaper by the pound. He got 22.
All right, my friends, we are going to do the graduation show like we do every Wednesday. I don't think I'm getting through this show today. There's no way. But that's okay. I'll come back tomorrow, and we'll do it tomorrow. I got about 2 hours, and then we're going to do a podcast. So I'll repeat that in case people are wondering, like, when am I going to come up? You know, when am I going to come up? All right. Let's start off with La Fe Verte. The true faith? I don't know. But I'm going to give him a follow. And this dude joined in November, and you can see he's working, and it has paid off. He has gone up 302 points. It's a thing. All you got to do is trust the program. Okay, looking good. Do we have any games? No. So he just joined the program. Hopefully we can get some games in, but that's a beautiful start. Good morning, JWMCC. And A. Canis Major says, my first graduation. Yellow says, a lot of graduations lately. Yeah, it goes back and forth. I'd say it's about steady. This one, though, is kind of extreme. Is it extreme? Hold on, let's look. 38. Yeah, that's high. Today, that's definitely high. I'm not finishing this stuff. Sometimes I get overwhelmed with the feeling of like, oh my God, that's too many. One thing we're definitely going to do is we're going to add a column here so I can see if there's actually a game to look at. So structure and fellow cohort support was the best part of the program. I really see that in my game. Beautiful. Wow, so he just started in August. Already up to 550 ChessCom. Also an Olympic weightlifter. Always working to balance training, family, and 2 time-intensive pursuits. Oh, that's really interesting. I do CrossFit, and I guess Olympic weightlifting is one of my least favorite things. But it's growing on me a little bit, you know? It's growing on me a little bit. So Mamuskia, let me just say, so Mamuskia is saying there was no grad stream. I did all the grad streams. It was a little bit discombobulated though. So, you know, I was away for Christmas, and then there was like I had to do a bunch of recapping to get it done. So, you know, I came back from holidays and I just had to recap it all. So I did do everybody, at least I believe I did. Yeah. So Maybe you can look at the Twitch vids or something. If I looked at a game of yours, you would get a notification. If there is no game, then you wouldn't get that notification. Also, sometimes I forget to do the little notification thing. Any case, here we got SM. He's in the Canada Dojo, lifting heavy things. Now, can you be an Olympic lifter and say lifting heavy things? Is that okay? Is that okay, Chad? I don't know. Because that Olympic weightlifting, it's a little bit like ballet. It's a little bit like ballet. All right, this is SM. We want to see what's going on. Now, again, I don't know what's going on. We want to have one folder called My Games. That's where all of your people should be. This is too confusing for me. So, okay, we do have some games, though. Let's check out this one. So, time graph, very good. Very good. So the first thing we want to say to our Olympic weightlifter is your time management is much better than your average player at this level. Average player at this level is going to make very quick, impulsive moves. So your opponent is amazing in that regard. Most of your opponents, though, will not have that. Okay, good. Now, one of the things I want to say is, as long as you play good developing moves, you're going to be playing theory. So here you are, you're playing masterclass GM level moves here. All right, snip, snap. And that's the first move I'm not entirely thrilled with, knight c3. The most natural move, I think, would be knight g3. And the main point of knight g3 is we just don't want to lose any time. See, so when we play knight c3, we give our opponent a tempo, a move. Whereas knight g3, well, dude has to kind of respond to that. Is the graduation page only for me? No, anybody can see it. They just hit news feed, and then you can see the graduations. Okay, so knight c3, knight f6, bishop, okay. I would have preferred d4, but you are developing, and I'm not going to yell at anybody at this level if they're just developing their coconuts. So notice you spent two moves doing it. So an easy way to improve for our Olympic lifter is being sensitive to tempo. Once you get religious about it, it's an easier skill to master than, say, not hanging your stuff. And not hanging your stuff is where these games are going to be actually decided. This one I don't like because he lets you take the bishop. All right. Okay, black's playing well. Okay. I'd say black in a GM level game, we would say black's a little bit better in this position, but well, now he's definitely better because he snagged a pawn. So one of the things we want to do in a position like this is recognize that queen d2 was seemingly a good move, but it seems like f6 you're in a little bit of grief. Now, was there a way for you to not hang the pawn? For example, knight d3. Maybe you could do this. So this is the kind of thing we want you to analyze in your game analysis. So if he takes here, we don't lose a pawn. And if he takes here, we take here, we take here, we take here, we take here. Oh my gosh, we take here. We are not going to lose a pawn. I refuse to lose a pawn. Okay, so here we lose a pawn. That variation you could continue, by the way. I'm just showing what we want to be thinking about in terms of the analysis. Now, I think this is a little frisky from black to allow the knight to come to f5. I don't think he should have allowed that. So that's a powerful knight. That's just a hanging of a pawn. So I hope you said thank you. And now you played a frisky move, knight d6. Taking the pawn looks totally reasonable to me. Okay. This is a little weird to me. Why aren't, a little weird. Now that's just a blunder. Okay, so let me stress, this is for everybody trying to reach 1,000 that's watching the show today. It's mistakes like these that will actually decide the game. if you don't make this kind of mistake, your opponent will eventually make it. And this is how the game is decided. Somebody hangs some stuff. And then it's basically good night, Lucy. Now, they still have to finish you off. They still have to finish you off. But that's how the game is actually decided. The other things that are important at this level are clock management. And our Olympic lifter is doing great with that. And development. There needs some work. Right? Okay. So black is playing a great game. And now he zaps us with queen e1. Okay. Now, black, I thought, played a reasonable game. Only a couple small mistakes that I felt they made. And no mistake that I would consider like an under 1,000 mistake. So you played a good opponent. Let me go over here, check if someone's yelling at my Discord. And we have Piskovsky. Joining the dojo has created great structure and rigor to my chess study. I've learned to love the beauty and depth of a slow game analyzed carefully. I was hesitant to graduate, given my rapid rating has lagged behind my classical time standard, but I'm itching for material more appropriate for where my tactical vision is at. Since the dojo stopped giving me tactics work entirely some time ago, and I'm feeling a little looser there these days, I'm sure I'll find a way to engage with rapid that feels more rewarding, but once you've tasted the real righteous chess, it's hard to go back. So let's go look at what's going on. So I'm going to give him a follow. He's into photography, Russian rock climbing. Wow. Queen's Gambit generation. Okay. Now, when he says that he ran out of tactics, I'm actually a little bit confused because he's only been here for a little bit. So I don't know how he ran out of tactics. But he's definitely there, and I understand what he's saying about this rapid thing. Now, something just for everybody to recognize is, especially at this lower end, the Lee chess is an inflation machine. So this might be an inflated rating. Okay, might. So we'll just keep an eye on that as we go forward. The chestnut e-board. Now, by the way, this is a beautiful thing. If you've got this, I do not have one of these yet. I'm so old, I like to play on an actual OTB situation, but I think this is a great thing for players who want to get better and are not ready to be traveling, to do tournaments and stuff. Question from Hell to Cap. I have a question for you. Did you finish all the puzzles from the Polgar book? I have done the Polgar book 3 times. I've done sections of it at other times. I've taught it a bunch, but I've done it officially 3 times. Okay, do we have a game from Piskovsky? We got loads. So he's doing well. Let's go time usage. And great. I love it when the dojo does better than the opposition. So let's click on to game review, I guess. And we'll go boom. Ooh, and I have to do a fix. We have to do a fix. I hope I have this right. I don't know why I wouldn't have it right. Yeah, the Yogurt King. So, good move so far. Fine. I guess e6 feels more natural to me. And knight f3. Now, if white had wanted to mess with you a little bit, he could have done this and the queen b3. But that's a little advanced. Okay, knight f3. e6, castles. And now you make a very bold move, d takes e4. And I like that you're thinking about it. Now, what we want to say about this move is maybe it's fine, but it's dangerous because you lose a tempo. And now you're going to lose the central e4 square. So I think this makes sense to me. He pushes you around. And this is a very good move because if f3, you have queen at d4. So you're doing great. And then now you blunder. Okay, let's be clear. This is the kind of blunder that holds people back from achieving 1,000. Okay? And notice his opponent is like, spends a minute on it, but still, mutual total blunder. And then again, we get a blunder. Look, Queen E5. Bruv, your bishop is still hanging. All you gotta do is take this guy. Again, your bishop's hanging. You can protect him with Queen H5. All right, so now we're down a piece. And definitely knight C4 looks best. He goes this way. Queen C7. And now he's going to blunder this F5 thing here. Good move. That doesn't help anything, as you said. Good move. Fine. Okay, very nice. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Oh, beautiful. Okay. So, good game, and we'll say that it's the three things to make 1,000, right? The hanging of stuff, the most important. Second, using your time. You did well in that. And development, right? Okay, so we're going to go back over here. And this is Boring Pouring, who has graduated twice. A little bit maybe nonchalant about logging their stuff. Made it to 753. Let's give them a follow. We got some clubs? Nothing. We got some games? Now, I have to admit, on a day with so many people, I'm a little bit happy. You know, I'm like, I can't go over a gazillion games. I just can't do it. I'm human. Tom Clark says, enjoying the program, the structure the program offers. Goal for this year is to be at least reach 1,200. I hope if I can stay motivated, I can do much better than that, though. Now, let me just say, that's 1,200 from where you are. That's a lot of points, okay? So maybe like 1,200 on the upper end. That's a lot of points. All right, let's go over here, Tom. We'll be able to talk a little bit about what 1,200 means. By the way, 1,200 ChessCom, I think is plausible. That's a little bit more plausible. You guys probably see we have a universal rating here, Dojo rating, so 699. That's just because we have all kinds of different ratings and we need to translate them. Okay, clubs. Nothing. Games. Do we got games, Tom? We do. And he played this back in December. We're going to mark it. We'll see. Oh, this is a very typical dojo thing where our opponent isn't thinking at all. Now, I do want to stress, though, it's very important that we maintain our minimum time controls. So at this level, let's go back. Tom is in the 700s. Let's go look at his training plan here. And we look games and analysis, play 40 games a year. So 30-0 is the minimum for him. And then soon transition to 30-30. I think for a lot of people, it's a hard transition to make. There's a lot of hard things the dojo asks. I think we lose a lot of people because we ask some hard things. One is to play longer games. We ask them to do harder tactics. And we ask them to annotate the games. Very difficult for a lot of players to do. All right. So, there it is. Let's continue. Dr. Pop. Now, Dr. Pop is famous, and let me just tell you about Dr. Pop and his crew. So, I have been doing what's come to be known as the Game and Profile Review for a little over a year now, and Dr. Pop's been in there for at least, we've done it 3 or 4 months. And we then, because his group was so cool, I was like, dude, we have to institutionalize this across the dojo. So now, when you go to the dojo, you can join these game and profile reviews like Dr. Pop was in. And the idea is very simple. You have a group of people. It's not that many. In Dr. Pop's case, we usually have between like 5 and 8 people. Someone is up in any given week. Who's ever up, we'll talk about their training to the peer group first, not without me. Talk about whatever games they're going to cover in the session. And they got to be really good friends. They traveled with each other, went to go play tournaments, very supportive. And then we meet after that. And Dr. Pop's been part of that group. And as you can see, he's graduated a bunch of times. So let's get in there. And he has gained 194 since joining, 3 graduations. Back to chess after a 37-year hiatus. Also, it's impressive with Dr. Pop. He's an older dude like me, and, making progress as an older dude, it is definitely harder. Fellow Christian believer asks, would I be able to join at a high 1400 ELO on Chess.com? Anybody can join the dojo, as you can see here. Anybody, you're much higher than Dr. Pop. You can join. All right. So, I'm reading the YouTube chat. Sometimes they're saying I'm low or something. I don't know what they're saying. Then some other people say my audio's fine. Sometimes I have the mic way over there because I'm an idiot. All right, so I just want you to appreciate Dr. Pop clearly joined in the summer, then slowly got more and more serious about it. The game and profile review is another way to keep yourself on task because you're going to have peers looking at the work you're doing. You're going to have a sensei looking at the work you're doing. And that just, you can see the buildup of Dr. Pop's habits. Amazing. And you can also see that he really worked for this graduation. That was like a lot of work that he did. And the higher up we go, the harder it's going to become. All right, let's look at clubs. He's got all of these ones. The Late to Chess podcast is cool. That's a podcast run really within that group that he is in. And let's look at this one. So this guy, Bavarian Blunderworks, is someone who is also in the dojo. And I want to make sure I haven't already done this. I don't know. We'll see what happened on move 32. If somebody is up a piece or 2 pieces, then it's a little bit excusable that they stopped thinking. But otherwise, we will yell at them. Right? All right, here we go. All right, a little slow, Dr. Pop. It's fine. We could argue for E5 and then D4, right? A little bit more aggressive. Fine. Okay. Now, knight G4 is a frisky move. Maybe it's okay. Why is it frisky? Because it's not clear that the knight's not going to get pushed away to the darkness at some point. All right, here we go. C takes. In general, black shouldn't take unless they have a really good reason for it. In this case, what we've done is we've enabled knight C3, which is the square the knight would most like to go to. Bishop B7. We could already push away the knight if we want. Good. Bishop D3. That's kind of frisky. And now knight B4. So, I would have preferred if you had kicked this guy back first. And just to show a little bit of fanciness here, maybe black could have considered F6. And if now H3, then takes, and here with, I don't know. Actually, it's very hard for me to judge what's going on in this position. I don't know. It's hard for me to judge. In any case, I wouldn't want to think about that as white. I want to just push him back, make him terrible. And when he goes terrible, we're probably not going to take the thing because that thing is just an awful night. All right. I hate this move, Dr. Pop, and let me explain. Black really has one really bad minor piece. Well, there are 2 with a knight over here. And when you play bishop b5, you are trading that thing off. Now, I have some sympathy because the right move, there's reasons for it to feel wrong. And the right move is bishop b1. And I'm sure it feels wrong because you're blocking the rooks, but the main thing is this guy's a chump. He can be pushed back whenever we want with a3. That guy's a chump. We can push him back whenever we want. And what we're really looking for is to keep this pressure. Tall wrote in a mildly similar position that the bishops are smiling at the black king. Okay, so let's continue here. Bishop b5, poor move, good move. And you take it. Now, I've got a lot of experience actually playing black on this kind of thing. And the difficulty is, even though it looks terrible for black, is that it's actually hard to get at those weaknesses over there on the king side. All right, queen e2, f6, good move. Good move. Good, I like it. And then that's a waste of time. a3. Now, knight wasn't doing anything there anyway. We push him back. And now you play knight e2. I like knight e2 a lot. Look at what he's got. The knight will be great on f4. g8, knight f4, king h8, knight h5, bishop g5. Well played by black. So, snip, snap, knight f6. Look at you, Dr. Pop. Look at you, buddy. You're flying in there. Now, maybe rook g5 was actually a little stronger for black. All right, queen g7. Boom, boom. Rook e2. I don't know what that move is. g4. Okay, h4. g3. f takes. Good. Rook takes. And now you played rook f4, which I think is reasonable. You could also consider queen f4. Good move, Dr. Pop. h5. Good. All right, so now we're into the next phase of the game. And look at this. This is why I left the time open. All right, so this is a very important feature. They played beautiful clock time management up till move 30. We are now, however, at move 32, and this is where both players stop thinking. And something I want to promise you, okay, is this position, although better for white, is actually very difficult to play, to win for white. Yeah, there's a lot going on here that needs reflection. In the end game, a lot of people are just so terrorized by the ending that they stop thinking, and we're seeing that here too. So, for example, this move actually looks good, but it's no good because knight c3 comes, knight c6, and then we can't do anything, right? So, the good news for white is this rook is misplaced, right? So, rook c3, I think we should talk about rook b3, and then here black should have played knight a5. Missed it. And now, very nice move, rook c3. This allows the penetration of the rook. Very nice, Dr. Pop. Good move. Rooks belong on the 7th. And now, bad move. Why? Because look, this rook is pinning the black king to the back. And you've got 30-second increment here, so there's no reason for you to be playing so fast here. So a more typical thing would be something like here, bring the rook here, put the rook here, try to mate him. Very difficult, actually, to stop. All right, boom, good. Maybe black should have tried to stop it. Rook f5. I like it. I think I'm okay with that. I don't understand d4. He's playing way too fast. Way too fast. Okay, there's a lot of different moves to consider. I don't understand this. And now we lose our pawn. We're losing a lot of stuff. Good move. At least it's the right idea. Could black have played knight takes g2? Question. Good. Good. Okay, now does he convert? He does. Wow. So I want to say that, let's go back to Dr. Pop Pop's profile for a second. Go ratings. So I want to say that both of these, I feel he's playing better chess than 788. That's my sense. Right? And one of the issues, it's not a bad issue to have, but when he plays other people in the game and profile review, at least predominantly those people, he's going to be faced with stronger competition than he would if he played the random chumps online, right? So I think eventually that's, maybe it might slow the initial rating progress down. No problem, though, because he's learning and he's playing great chess. So I expect Dr. Pop Pop to graduate again soon, honestly. Well, you can see he only needs 12 points. Okay, and really, look at this. This is when we really started intensively working together, and we got this beautiful graph. One of the things I want to do as a video is to do an analysis of all the different clubs and which clubs have the fastest rating gain on average. I think, at least by my anecdotal evidence here doing this show for years, is the club of lifting heavy things is the most successful in graduating. But I think if we think about the clubs of the different game and profile reviews that are all starting, that's the one statistic I want to keep an eye on there. Because I think they are going to be progressing just much faster. Okay, beautiful. Next up, we have Tired Runner. Says, might be premature to graduate, but I will have a little faith in myself since I should still be quite a bit stronger than this, even with my skills atrophying in the years since I've played. Excited to see what the structure of the dojo will do for my improvement alongside being more consistent with doing game analysis. Okay. He's 27 years old and his ankles still let him run. That's what I'm guessing, getting out of this. All right, so normalized to 979. Well, dude, you could graduate again. He's in the ADHD dojo. Does he have games? We've got loads of games. So this is over here. And so this is an acceptable time control. Well, wait a second. Not quite, actually, right? Because now if he were below 800, this would be acceptable. But here, this is too fast, right? The reason I want to say that he doesn't get a time management rating is the lowest we had it go was 30 plus 0, and I think this is technically the same. So I'm going to go over this game, but I want to stress, in general, I don't like doing it because I don't want to go. I want people to do the appropriate time control, right? Which would be like 30 plus 30 is a minimum for non-pass pawn. Okay, so let's go over here. We'll mark it as reviewed. Let's hit the old game review button. And great. Good move so far. Little weird, but he saw a YouTube video. These YouTube videos really hamper people's chess progress. For example, I think to play this move well, you need to understand a couple key ideas that I don't think most players under 1400 could enunciate. That is, put into words what the idea is of A6. Right? Okay, so here we go. A4, not a great move. C5, okay. Interesting position. You're doing fine. And now this move we don't like because it's not a developing move. What do we like? Either knight c6 or castles. Now you think he's threatening the pawn, but he's not, because if all this stuff happens like you're saying, you're going to get this guy and you're going to get 1,000 tempi. So not again a loss of time. Poor move. Now what has happened? Your queen just got developed. Okay. Good. Good. Bishop d7, I think that's fine. You also consider e5. Great. Poor. Poor. And he says a good note. No way do you have time to do this. Okay. So the guy, I don't know what he's looking for, honestly. If he wanted to play queen e4, he could have done it last move. Personally, I think rook c8 looks great. I don't understand b5. It's a little fancy, I guess. Because, oh, that looks like a mistake. So he's lost now because, by the way, what happened? He didn't think long enough. He thought for 30 seconds and took it like a fool. So b5, little trick. Well, I'll call it a tricky move. Ultimately, maybe it's okay. You could rationalize it that queen e4, you have bishop c3. So, okay, it's probably fine, actually, b5. You don't like it. And you talk about queen e4, snip, snop, queen c3, king e2, f5. This looks awesome, you say. But then you say bishop c3, king e2. That's fun. I want to say, though, I don't believe in white's position. I just don't. Like g6, pawn takes, and you could play queen c3. b4 looks good. Yeah, I like your position still. But it's true. But also, what do you want to do? Like I suggested rook c8 just off the top of my head. Yeah. Personally, I think on b5, his best move might be queen b3. Maybe that's his best move is queen b3. All right, he goes here. Blunder. Your games at this level will be decided by players blundering. Yeah, I think you should just take it. But okay. Snip. Snap. Check to the miserable king. Rook a2, very nice. Wait a second. Yeah, you could just take the knight. Bro, you could just take the knight. All right, you were in a little bit of time pressure. All right, so you're still winning. And then you got him with a nice one here. Your opponent moving too fast. All right, so let's just say the obvious. To get to 1,000, which basically you are, you need to avoid hanging stuff. You need to develop your guys. And you need to use your time. The hardest one is not losing your stuff. You play better than your opponent here. You can definitely improve with the development stuff. Notice, too, for everyone watching, the openings didn't necessarily help him. I think I could talk for about 5 minutes about what the ideas are with a6, but that is not for this level. Not for this level. Okay, here we go. All right. Next up, we have Robo76. He's done a lot of work here. And got a beautiful heat map here. Let's just show that. So that's looking good. 822. Ooh, wrong. Sorry about that. We'll just change the scene here. He's French. He's got loads of games. You see, I'm not going to finish the show today. That's okay. Actually, I'll just repeat myself. Today, I will probably not finish. I'll come back tomorrow. So we'll just leave it at that. Ooh, he has a beautiful time graph here. Now again, Robo, very important. You are now at a level where playing a 30-0 game is not enough for you. You need a little longer. All right, good. I don't like this move, h3. So notice, what's the problem? You're not developing. You want to stop bishop g4 or knight g4, play bishop e2. h5 makes zero sense to me. Good. He's done. Fine. Putting the queen on g3 was a little weird. I don't understand. Rook h8, good move. Simple chess, good move. Trade it down. Why are you playing beautiful chess? You're just killing this guy. Look at this. You're just murdering him. Look at this. Wow. Okay, so pure murder over here. I thought you used your time well. Obviously, you are... you got a couple small things like playing h3, but you're playing at a level where it's not going to be openings or anything, right? It's going to be somebody blundering this, and then you just need to find that ba-bam, and then shut him down, right? That's what we need to do. Okay, good stuff. Let's move on to Spätz. We got Spätz over here. Just joined, I think. That's not true. He joined ages ago, but has not been marking their stuff. European, we got some games. We got a game, but this is forever ago. So I think what Spätz had was he rejoined after not being in the dojo for a very long time. Welcome back. Hopefully we'll get some new games. Great that you made the 800 to 900 cohort. All right, now we got King Go Night Night. King Go Night Night, I love this guy. This is my third graduation. I continue to use the same formula of puzzles, Puzzle Rush Survivor, Polgar, 1-2 classical games a week, and reviews of those games. Once again, I want to thank Sweatgland for his guidance and consultations. For this graduation, please review my favorite game of 2025 against Yakovlev. If you rain on my parade for this game, please make it a gentle summer shower rather than a blustery deluge. Okay, Kingo Night Night, great name. And look at this guy. Let's just pop this out here. Bang. Took a break in the summer, but he has been all on it since then. Beautiful. Yeah, nothing to complain about. Clinical neuropsychologist. Beautiful. Okay. Started learning during COVID. Amazing. I don't know why I'm not following this guy, but I'm going to. So, clubs. He's an old guy too. Especially great to see an old guy improve. And we're going to look for Yakovlev. Oh, who knows where this guy is? Let's try to find Yakovlev. Wait a second. Maybe I hit my games here. Holy moly. There he is, Yakovlev. All right, let's do it. Canis Major wants me to give him a deluge, a monsoon. All right. Well, the first complaint we already got, and that is that people have been moving too fast in this game. All right, so mark it as reviewed. So good chess, poor, right? From Jesse, About Time course is a waste of tempo. And I knew that before the course, but it reinforces the idea. Great. So, right, I did a course called It's About Time, and I did another one called Mastering Time in Chess. In particular, with Mastering Time in Chess, I really just looked at a bunch of games, took loads of games from the dojo where people had given up time and gave it as problems of how you take advantage of it. Because basically, you think about it this way. To get to 1,000 dojo, which is about 1250 ChessCom, you need to master the art of taking the free stuff. After 1250, 1,000 dojo, what's going to happen is it's not going to be nearly as easy because they're not going to hang their pieces. And the really area to get that next 100 points, right? So let's call 1250 to 1650, is players are going to give you time, like this guy, right? And then we need to learn how to punish it. We might know that it's a poor thing to give time, but we need to learn how to punish. And now a very fancy move, bishop f7. Let's read what he says. I don't know what got into me here. I can see I looked at it for almost 5 minutes. Simply put, I just wanted to play aggressive and have fun. Okay, so clearly knight e5 is the sane person's move. He goes all in. Bam! Check to the miserable king. And now king e8. I don't know exactly where the king should go. This I can see bad things happening. Maybe king g8 is better. And now knight d5. Now I just want to say the thing that flashed through my eyes was we could play knight g6, rook move somewhere, and then e5, making this guy move, and then we play queen h5, and it looks crispy critters to me. All right, so knight d5. This might work out fine too, but if now like c6 or something, if we take, we do help the lady come in. Yeah, okay, here we go. So snip, check to the miserable king. Check to the miserable king. And that wasn't it. Checkmate. Checkmate. Yo, Yakovlev, next time maybe you should develop your pieces. That was pretty great. I don't have any monsoons. I don't have any deluge to give this man. He's doing fine. I think maybe I'd want him to move a little slower, but you know, hey, I'm not going to yell at him. All right, here we go. Morphe OG is next. Morphe says, the program's focus on consistent long games has reduced my anxiety about playing. Now I'm enjoying playing a lot more because I'm focusing on chess truths instead of ego. I'm a longtime viewer from 21 that took a hiatus until recently. Okay. I decided to do the program to rekindle my love of chess and to experience chess in a positive way. My biggest weakness is, other than blundering, in maintaining focus during calculation where I get lost at what variation I'm thinking about. I spend a majority of the time trying to justify a move, and when I find its refutation, I feel like I don't have time to calculate an alternative. And we're going to look at his game against R.T. Mitchell. Okay. Let's get into Morphe over here. So the man has come back. By the way, in 21, we didn't even have a training program. We had, we were doing YouTube videos and Twitch streams, all that stuff. Let's give Morphe a follow. Really cool that he came back. All right. Clubs. Lifting heavy things, I'm telling you guys. I think it just hit 50 here too. That is the club where I'm seeing the most graduations, especially per person. All right. So, ba-bam. Oh, and he said R.T. Mitchell. We can do that. So, time. Ooh, very nice. Very nice. Correct time control. Beautiful. I like that a lot. We'll mark it as viewed, and we'll go game review. My goal was to manage my time according to the dojo's estimate of ideal time usage. Right? Great. Here we go. Okay. Little weird. Good. Poor. Why is it poor? Because it's not developing. Good. There's a tricky move right there. Rook e1. Bishop e7. And now you play bishop b5. My sense here is that h3 has got to be right. Yeah, make him decide which way he wants to go. Here we're developing, or not developing, right? Poor move, not developing. Again, I want h3. Rook c1's reasonable. Rook c2 is weird. I want h3. If he takes, you develop the queen. not developing. Finally, h3, good move, I think. But see, now when you put the rook here, it's kind of a bummer that we put the rook there. All right, now he's hurting us a little bit. Okay. Okay. I prefer bishop b3. All right, moment of crisis. He doesn't respond and lets us win a pawn. I hope you said thank you. Good. Rook e7 now looks strong. I don't know what's queen d7's about. I don't know if I get bishop e5. Okay. Now he trades down when you're up a pawn. All right, black offers a draw here. No way, buddy. I'm up a pawn. I don't understand f4. We got to be playing king e2. Oh, I don't understand that. Why are we letting the king in? No! Don't let him do it. Oh. Okay. A good rule of thumb is what we call Capablanca's rule. Capablanca's rule says you want to put the pawns on the opposite color of your bishop. Okay? And the point is, Candace Madger's Morphe OG, great. So, Capablanca's rule, pawns in the opposite color. What's the point? If you put your pawns all in the same color, you lose complete control of the opposite color. So in this case, we've just completely lost the control of the light squares. And black plays a simple and nice move, f5. And even though he's down a pawn, I think I'd definitely rather now be black because he's dancing all over your light squares. All right, h5, g6, fine. Snip, snap. And the game is a draw. It's not a draw. Black, I think, is winning this position. Yeah, at least it's not going to be an easy walk. The first thing black could do is improve this guy. Oh man, it's gonna be a hard road for Mr. White. A very hard road. Well, I can tell you now, this is a winning position for black. Okay, so some things learned. When we just go back a little bit, when we think about your beautiful endgame that you had, where the milk went suddenly bad. Let's start here. f4 was the first mistake. You need to put your king here. You need to put your king here. You need to put your pawns on light squares. Okay? This endgame I do think is a hard one to win because you have these pawns on dark squares. And ideally, they want to come to be on light squares. This is not an easy thing to do, but you know, you're up a pound. You're up a pound. All right, here we got Tarek. He has graduated numerous times. And what do we got here? So this is Tarek. And he's been here since May. Let's pop this open. You can see when he first joined, he was more religious about logging his work. But he's made great progress. 394 points, going to 931. Beautiful. Okay. This is all looking great. So clubs. The Arab Dojo, dude. Yeah, we need an Arab Dojo. You know, I guess maybe he's living in Europe and therefore he's the part of the Arab Dojo, something like that. But that's cool. We have some groups that are a little bit amorphous to me. Like we have the Asian Dojo, the Latin America Dojo, and I kind of want to drill it down. But I can imagine, like, if you're maybe living in Europe and you want to be part of the Arab Dojo, then that's cool. All right, games. My games. So this is played fairly recently. Let's take a look at what's going on here. Time. Now, one beauty right there is that our guy used his time correctly. The thing we do want to say, however, is that really this is a time control that is not suitable for where he's at. It might be a moment for him to grow as a player, to force himself to play like a 30-30 or something slightly longer. Okay? I think once you pass 800, Dojo says, no, 30-0 is too fast for you. And those are just minimum time controls. So reasonable chess, good move, good move. Okay, bishop f5. Bishop f5 makes me a little nervous. I probably prefer bishop e7 just because I want a castle soon. Your move might be fine. I'd be worried about knight c3 here. That's my concern. I don't know. It makes me nervous. Okay. Knight d4. I don't like because you're not developing. What do I want? Either bishop e7 or castles. Bishop e7. And now c3. Bishop e3 would at least, develop with tempo. Poor move, not developing. Castles, good move. Poor move. Poor move, because now he takes back, and you lose a tempo, and he's got fine pawns. Check. You lost another tempo there. Now, he's not doing anything. Okay. So, white has a variety of different tries here. A4 is the simplest. Start marching. Right? Just as an example here, if you try to get frisky, maybe you can take it. I'm not even sure, but we would calculate it, right? Because maybe this is very dangerous for us as black. So again, my friends, let me repeat. I did the course Mastering Time in Chess, which was all dojo examples. And the point was, I gave players positions where their opponent lost time, and then we had to take advantage of it. And it's not always in tactic. Sometimes we win more time. Sometimes we improve our position, right? But in general, we can do something with that time. And that's what this next level is about. It's like they give you time, and then what do you do with it? All right, very frisky move here from white. He takes. If he wanted to take, you'd think he could do it last move, B6, C4, Queen A5. That looks like he lost his bishop. That's what it looks like to me. You said thank you very much. Good. G6 I like less. Some basic moves are Queen D4, Rook F6, and threatening Rook F2. G3, there was no threat, so there's no need to do that. White should focus probably on whacking your queen out of there. Not sure what Queen A4 does. Okay. Okay. Poor move, hanging the D3 pawn. Whoa. And he says he forgot about his original plan. Now, I don't know. Let's just say this is now officially scary. I need to get the queens off the board. It's not just about the pawn. I need those queens off the board before I get mated. And now I'm terrified I'm going to get mated here. So Fe4, and he says check to the miserable king. Okay, things are getting hot, my friends. I'm going to say, for example, that check. It looks scary. You cannot go to B7 because of this. And maybe B8. Oh, it's hot, though. It's not comfortable. All right. Good. And now you must trade queens. Very good. Good. Now you're back in control. I don't understand. He needs more than that. He needs more than look at what he's doing. He's just like ticky-tacking you, and he's not doing anything. Fine. Fine. Okay, he's just going for chump threats here. Okay. 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 Oh, a beautiful move. Thank you very much. Look at this. I like Rook A7. But you are in full control. We're going to say you won that game. So, Tark, you're doing great, bud. You're doing great. And as you can see, your rating's just flying up there. So, I think you could definitely make the next level. Definitely ready to do it. Again, in my head, 1250chess.com, 1000 Dojo is kind of a big barrier. Of course, nothing magical exactly there happens, but that's where we move from hanging pieces, deciding everything. We saw a lot of hanging stuff in that game, to more strategic elements playing a bigger role in terms of what decides the game, right? Strategic stuff is always important, but in terms of what decides the game, up to 1,000, it's people hanging stuff outright. So, Fern Wright might have started off in the wrong cohort. Let's give a look. You're in the right cohort, looks to me. Welcome to the dojo. Got some South Deutschland, and then we got some games. No games. So, Fern Wright, welcome to the dojo. Looks like you're doing well, and we'll get some games, and hopefully you'll graduate sometime soon. Bis done. Okay, next up, Tapioca King. Tapioca King. I'm going to take a break pretty soon, too. Oh, man. I need some tea or something. I don't know. Tapioca says, it didn't take me even half as long to get to 1250 as it did from 11 to 12, so quite happy about only taking 2 months for the second graduation. I've taken part in a round robin. That's a beautiful dojo thing we got going on. Started doing postmortems and tried to be active in discussions on the Discord. Overall, pretty happy with how things have been going. I feel like the most useful resources this cohort were Nose All's Morphe Simulator, and we probably will add that to the dojo in May. We change things up once a year. Logical Chess, Move by Move. People love that book. Great. Together, these demonstrate how to control the center, develop pieces in the opening, force a weakness in front of the castle king, and then exploit it. Outside resources that have helped are Toth's Chess Principles Reloaded, Preventing Blunders in Chess by Kabadai, and naturally their YouTube channels as well. For the graduation game, I managed to play 45-30 for the first time the other day against Paterly, where I've been tried merging the notes from both of our annotations post-mortem. While it's probably getting looked at in his live classes session, I can't help but show this one off, even if a sensei has to look at it twice. If you want a game you might not have to see on repeat, that's fine. So we'll look at this game. And what he's saying is that Peterly is going to be in the game and profile review. And so that's just a beautiful thing. Anyone can join. Let's go click on the Tapioca. You can see Tapioca joined in October, and he's been on it, dude. He's been on it. So, 989. So not quite there. Not quite there. We'll give this a follow. He's in the Nose All crew. Beautiful. Nose has been a dojo member for a super long time and runs a free group that you can find on our calendar. So, my games. There it is, Peterly. So, all right. Boom. And both players playing slow, which I think is great. I like that a lot. All right, game review. Mark it as reviewed. And we'll start. Little frisky. A3. Okay, so Pete was expecting E6 here, but it was out of book. A5, I think that's okay. E5, good move. Oh man, it's getting hot. E4, good. Queen C7, oh, that's a fun game. And now we get to snip. Knight 2B3, it doesn't look right. And knight G4, holy moly. So, knight G4 might be a fine move. Bishop D6 looks also pretty good. All right, so knight G4. One of the things we can say, Tapioca, is that this is such a big decision, and when you play knight G4 quickly, it suggests really that you haven't thought too deeply about it, right? Whereas really it's a big decision. Okay. So if you're going to make a move quickly, it should be bishop d6 because he owes you a tempo, and then we move on from there. Okay. So knight g4, big decision from white. He plays g3 in 3 minutes. I think f4 looks reasonable. But here on ef3, we would play knight f3. And I don't know exactly what's happening. Clearly, this is a worry, but when you do it, there's going to be this hammer jammer happening to you too. So I don't know what the eval is there. But to me, that's the main question. g3, that has to be a good position for you. Bishop d6, I don't like it. Mostly because now he's played g3. What are we doing on that square? Bishop a4, interesting. Maybe a good move. And then you castle, and that allows him to whack you with knight b5. What are we doing? What are we doing? And on queen e7, he can take this pawn. Thank you very much. Oh no. Oh no, my pawn, my center. All right, so queen d2, I don't understand that move. Okay. Good. Good. And now we have ourselves a hot little moment. So, bishop h3. I think that's got to be reasonable. Queen f6 looks crushing, honestly. Knight f3. Well, that also looks crushing. Bishop b2. All right. So, I'm just going to admit I don't understand this line from the engine. I have no idea what that is. All right. So we want to say that the simpleton way would be rook c8. That would be the human way to push this guy off the edge. He's got nothing. He's not even doing anything. Right? Okay. So, d4, queen c5, bishop f1. Very nice. h4, queen e6. Oh, you played a nice game, bud. That's very nice. And now you're just totally wasting him. So, very props to you. I think this is definitely a very high-class solution that you found. That's not going to help him. Checkmate. If you wanted to, you could have done that to him too. I don't know. I don't know. M-maxing, yes, a lot of grads. I probably won't get through all of them today. So, very high quality game there. And although there were mistakes in the opening in terms of positional play from both sides, that was a very high class tactical finish. Attacking chess. Well done. Okay, we'll go back. And now we have the famous Matubal. And then applause. So I'm going to do this Matubal, and then we're going to take a quick break. In 25, I played 63 classical games. Great. Over 11 tournaments. I started off the year in 8-9, and on the last day of the year, I'm graduating to 11-12. I just want to thank my small group of chess friends that I play study with, and Jesse, Kostya, and David for continuing to develop and grow this community. Looking forward to next year. Great, look at that. Basically 1,400 points in ChessCom, about 300 Lichess, and about 200 USCF, but it's lagging. OTB usually lags behind the other ones. Okay, so here's Matubal flying up there. Joined in 23, but it looks like he kind of committed this year. Maybe he came back and committed. Is Matubal in some clubs? Oh, he's over there in New England and Boston. Okay. And then we got some games. Look at all these games. Very nice. 37 games, Matubal. You're doing it. You're doing the work. Okay. So this is the Lone Wolf League. And look at that, my friends. I don't know what's going on. So black is our standard chump that we will face online where they don't know how to think. So they don't think. And we're going to see maybe your first 8 moves were kind of theory or something. Good. So we're doing the Morphe game. Good. By the way, I don't think there's any great moves for black at this point. I think he's already in a little bit of grief. Good. Poor, but it's a hard life for him already. Good. C6. We're so close to the Morphe game. And Queen A4, genius. So the issue is how, it's the same issue as in the Morphe game. How do we get the knight involved, who's currently stuck by this pawn? And how do we get the rook involved? Then we need to do it fast before black finds a way out of his misery. Here he basically falls into the Morphe trap. Thank you very much. Oh, yeah. This is going to end badly, isn't it? Bishop F6. Ooh, baby. That wasn't it. That wasn't it. And in the Morphe game, I've gone over that with so many students over the years, and that's one of the actual variations ends up with that mate. So that's pretty cool. All right, my friends, I'm going to take a quick break, and I'll be back, and I'm going to go to about 2 Eastern, so about another hour. Then we're going to do a podcast. We're just going to record that. We're going to stream it. So I'll have to get ready for that at the end of the next hour, but I'll be back in a second.
Welcome to the dojo.
Check out Joe, he's a Reddit bro, likes to edit posts, and he starts to gloat when he gets the most of votes or likes. Yeah, he's really hyped, really psyched, cause the crowd is really tight and the work is really light. His training plan is the first thing your eyes see, cause he got more follows than my boy Eric Dicey. Opinions on Magnus, Hans, and Karyakin, who cheated who, which engine
That
did he
ain't
packing.
Mouse.
He got blocked by Short, ignored by Dvorak, but he can't be wrong. He scored a like from Truong. He's got lightning attacks on GM blunders and gaffes. True, not over the board, it's only the other chat. Still, his 7-year plan ensures the last laugh. Distractions detract from any actual actions. Excuses are useless, he rues his inaction. Awaits satisfaction, the status of Magnus. He bought 50 books and opened up 10. Fools ought to read Psalms, not my system. He's got 30 alt accounts on every site around. Chessable courses keep looking cheaper by the pound. He got 22 databases and 36 engines, 25 chess sets, and a massive clock collection. He bought merch from Gotham, Bra and Naka, but his game history looked like some chess copy pasta. A GM coach that he don't listen to, and if you think it is, then yes, my friend, yes, this is you. But that all changed one bright sunny day when a friend said, hey, don't you know, welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. Sweatwork's what I believe, ratings what I'll receive. Don't you know, welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I stepped away from easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. If Sweatwork's what I believe, ratings what I'll receive. So Joe got into the business, stopped the app sickness, daily practices rhythm, he even upped his fitness. He found sparring cathartic, postmortems charming. With the plus equal minus, he was armed for elo farming. With notepad and pen, he built up calluses, escape rating paralysis with lengthy game analysis. With sensei direction, he sold his collection. Read one classic and that was fantastic. Now he locked to the spot where they checking off boxes. Young prodigies and some wily old foxes. 3.5 points per box, that's shocking progress. Goal nearing, cohort cheering, Joe doesn't hear it. He's monotasking, no relaxing, concentration maxing. One book, one board, one set, one thought. Work will work, will work, work, never stop. One book, one board, one set, one thought. Work will work, will work, work, never stop. Now occasionally, he peeps the world of the tweet and laughs when he sees the player that he used to be. Blank face staring, complex plans comparing while he's dojo training. Hours a day playing out positions, transpositions, and growing his board vision. Transition from poser to player, focus without a care. He leaves them complaining in his dust, staying with their week-old ratings. Blast past his week-old rating, each week's a new occasion. He never takes vacation, the work is entertaining, the growth he's maintaining. And now Joe is explaining, hey, don't you know, welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo. I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need you. If sweatwork's what I believe, waiting's what I'll receive. Don't you know? Welcome to the dojo. It's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo. I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need you. If sweatwork's what I believe, waiting's what I'll receive. Welcome to the dojo.
Welcome to the dojo.
Check out Joe, he's a Reddit bro, likes to edit posts, and he starts to gloat when he gets the most of votes or likes. Yeah, he's really hyped, really psyched, cause the crowd is really tight and the work is really light. His training plan is the first thing your eyes see, cause he got more follows than my boy Eric Dicey. Opinions on Magnus, Hans, and Karyakin, who cheated who, which engine
That
did he
ain't
packing.
Mouse.
He got blocked by Short, ignored by Dvorak, but he can't be wrong. He scored a like from Truong. He's got lightning attacks on GM blunders and gaffes. True, not over the board, it's only the other chat. Still, his 7-year plan ensures the last laugh. Distractions detract from any actual actions. Excuses are useless, he rues his inaction. Awaits satisfaction, the status of Magnus. He bought 50 books and opened up 10. Fools ought to read Psalms, not my system. He's got 30 alt accounts on every site around. Chessable courses keep looking cheaper by the pound. He got 22 databases and 36 engines, 25 chess sets, and a massive clock collection. He bought merch from Gotham, Bra and Naka, but his game history looked like some chess copy pasta. A GM coach that he don't listen to, and if you think it is, then yes, my friend, yes, this is you. But that all changed one bright sunny day when a friend said, hey, don't you know? Welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need you, sweatwork's what I believe, waiting's what I'll receive. Don't you know? Welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I stepped away from easy. Sweatwork's what we need you, if sweatwork's what I believe, waiting's what I'll receive. So Joe got into the business, stopped the absentness, daily practices, rhythm, he even upped his fitness. He found sparring cathartic, postmortems charming. With the plus equal minus, he was armed for elo farming. With notepad and pen, he built up calluses, escape rating paralysis with lengthy game analysis. With sensei direction, he sold his collection. Read one classic and that was fantastic. Now he locked to the spot where they checking off boxes. Young prodigies and some wily old foxes. 3.5 points per box, that's shocking progress. Goal nearing, cohort cheering, Joe doesn't hear it. He's monotasking, no relaxing, concentration maxing. One book, one board, one set, one thought. Work will work, will work, work, never stop. One book, one board, one set, one thought. Work will work, will work, work, never stop. Now occasionally, he peeps the world of the tweet and laughs when he sees the player that he used to be. Blank face staring, complex plans comparing while he's dojo training. Hours a day playing out positions, transpositions, and growing his board vision. Transition from poser to player, focus without a care. He leaves them complaining in his dust, staying with their week-old ratings. Blast past his week-old rating, each week's a new occasion. He never takes vacation, the work is entertaining, the growth he's maintaining. And now Joe is explaining, hey, don't you know? Welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need you, if sweatwork's what I believe, waiting's what I'll receive. Don't you know? Welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need you, if sweatwork's what I believe, waiting's what I'll receive. Welcome to the.
All right, my friends, we are back here. I'll mark that as reviewed. Beautiful game. Now we have applause. Somehow applause got, we lost him in the shuffle, the Christmas shuffle, but here we are. So, I didn't have much time for chess due to health and family reasons. First half of the year. I was mainly working on Chess King puzzles on my phone. Most of this work was not logged on Dojo. After this period of work and a break from playing, I experienced about a 150 bump in my Blitz games, although it later dropped. What I like about the Dojo program are the tactical exercises and the game analyses based on Chernev's book. It is very insightful and probably very beneficial for my overall chess understanding. On the other hand, I feel that Silman's endgame material has little effect on me. I worked with Silman's book 10 or 12 years ago, 2 or 3 times, and returning to it now feels like going nowhere. I need to find something else to strengthen my endgame skills. I have tried 100 endgames, you must know, which is above this level where you're at. But this book doesn't suit me. One thing that I can recommend, well, starting Friday, is we have these two things going on. We have the game and profile review, and we have the lecture classes. If you join the game profile review, can just get in to the lecture classes. In any case, what I'm trying to say is on Friday we're beginning Endgame Fundamentals, which yours truly is teaching. The books I think Silman might be a little boring for you, but anyways, we're going to work on it as a group. That might be a little bit more fun and engaging. Maybe something you're looking for. Now I'm gonna copy and paste this bad boy. Voop! That's a long one right there. So we'll just get that ready, and we'll hit applause. Applause for the bows. So, as you can see, applause is rolling pretty good, doing a lot of middle game work. I'm guessing that's like the Silman and the Chernev. 12-15, beautiful. No clubs. Does applause tell us something where you're at? Who it is you are? Tell us something about yourself. Here we go. Control, ba-boom. We definitely want a little bit more. However, important to say, when you're just beginning looking at your games, it often will look like this, as if there weren't more questions to ask, when in fact there are. Time. I'm assuming this is an online game, you just need to make sure that the timestamps are copied over when you copy it from either chess.com or Chess. All right, let's go game review real quick. So far, so good. Okay. Knight g4 looks like a good move, yeah. Poor move, not developing. Okay. Not developing. Knight g4 again looks fine. Knight takes c6, not a good move. And this is what I mean by annotation. We should at least consider pawn takes c6. It will stop this knight from getting the square. That's the main problem that we have in this position. Right? Knight d5 here, probably a little annoying. At any point, white playing knight d5 is probably what they need to do. And now he had bishop b6, but he plays here finally. And now you get to exchange the dark squares, which is a good thing. I don't know why you gave him the c file though. Oh no. Oh no. Why'd you give him the c file? Why did we take on c1? So boom, boom, and now a move I don't get, a4. He should play rook c7. Good. Now you're fine. I like f6. Notice you want to put the pawns the opposite color of the bishop. Okay. h5. Interesting. You talk about preparing f5. I don't know if I get it. King g7 makes a lot of sense. Good. Okay. I don't understand g3. That's a very controversial move. You take. You say check. And now bishop c2. This is the right idea, but you need to fix the pawns first. After bishop c2, white should be thinking about playing a5. We talked earlier in the show about Capablanca's rule. Poor move, and then you note that a5 is now a good move. Check, doesn't do much. King f5, and now he should play a5. He doesn't. You can still play a5 here, and you'd have at least something to play for. Okay, so they just went back and forth. No one found this idea of playing a5. My improvement takeaway, applause, is for you to do a deeper analysis of the game. You did some, right? Like I noticed, I like that you put a5, but there's just a lot of empty or unanswered questions over here. And by you asking those questions, you will get better. All right, let's go back to the grad show here. And next up, we have a famous dojoer, skier Brian. And he says, broke through my OTB 1300 plateau. I'm not really progressing that well on Chess.com and had a recent tilt there on December 30th. Having trouble finding time that works for sparring with others. Perhaps a sparring night. The classroom has been awesome, lately. It's easier to just walk in there and have other people just walk in than it had been to set something up. Perhaps a sparring study hall. Nose, Senior, Carl, and a few others have been great. Feeling very discouraged by the mistakes and lack of progress in rapid games, we got a game for review. Tactics quizzes have problems unlike I've seen in any dojo assignments. Certainly more problem work like the ones in the tactics quizzes built internally and less like Puzzle Rush 5 Minute. Puzzle Rush 5 Minute was bad for my thinking. Okay, so let's go over here. Puzzle Rush 5 Minute is something that we force upon people for two reasons. One, it's a really good indicator of where someone's at tactically. It maps, as in if you do a statistical map of people's Puzzle Rush 5 Minute scores and their ratings, they're very closely correlated. And it really covers, especially for this level, like if you're doing it, you're going to get all of the basic chess tactics. So the easy ones that you need to be able to see right away. So that's in any case our rationale for why we have it that way. Now it's really cool that you're flying up here in the USCF. Also cool that you've put it as your preferred rating. So that's just a beautiful thing, 1342. That's not a chump rating. In our training program, I think we ended at the Puzzle Rush 5 Minute requirement around like 1800, 1900. At that point, it's just too much mouse skill, you know, too much mouse skill at that point. Okay, so let's go clubs. By the way, 50 plus, great skier, Brian. You're doing great work. Or just pop us out. Dang, that was a good 2025 for you, bud. That was a really good one. And now we're going to look at your game. So, here we have a 90 plus 5 and very good time usage from both players. I wonder if we have WCC Lenny Arsenal Memorial. So it seems like this is an OTB game. Great. As we go up the ladder, we'll see more and more people doing OTB. So let's go to game review. I advocate for DC in my course, an aggressive repertoire for white. Yeah. Okay. Now, in general, the problem here for white is black is on the verge of getting a good French, and we need something active before that happens to us. I don't like CD4 because that gives you the C3 square for your knight. Okay. Okay. Good. Probably unnecessary. What I like that you're doing is maybe you don't feel like you know exactly what's going on, but you're like, you know what? Let's just develop our pieces and see what happens. I don't like this move because he doesn't ever really want to take. And now you do something weird here with knight G5. And I guess we're just losing a pawn here. So bishop E2, queen E2, snip, oh, bishop E7. So knight CD4 for sure. And now you get to go back. So now you're safe. Right? So we're seeing people not take advantage at this level still of the basics. Hard to find a plan for white. And then you like this. Okay. Rook B8, no one understands. I don't know if I understood A5 either. Queen B6 makes a lot of sense to me. I don't know. Very frisky move. Now, you thought for 6 minutes on this bad boy. A standard move here, I feel, for white would be h4. You are trying to do operations on the king side over here. That's where you have more space. Give him this to think about. Also give yourself a little bit of luft. This move, I don't get it right away, but it is true that exchanging off the dark square bishop can be worth it in terms of losing pawns and our structure. So now, big moment, black plays knight b8. I would have wanted more analysis here. Okay, knight b8. I don't know about this move. All right, you talk about knight g5. Knight g5 looks very strong. It looks winning, honestly. Knight e5. And he plays rook f8. Is there something wrong with f6 here for him? I don't see it. Then d7 happens. f6. We're in trouble now, though, right? We are now officially in trouble. So notice that this thing you did was a very dynamic decision to play knight d6 that is very hard to analyze because black has a lot of different moves here. I do want to stress there are GM games where this exact dynamic goes down. That doesn't seem right to me. And then your knight g5, you're just winning on the spot. Okay, so this happens. What's my point? That when we play this way, we have to be extra exact in terms of how we do it. Now, he plays rook f8. I didn't know what was wrong with f6. Now, you play h4. So I guess what we're saying is if rook c7, he's got e5. You could consider queen c7. I think you should consider queen c7 because if he plays knight c6, you're just shut out. Notice that your knight on f3 is miserable. Yeah. Okay, maybe queen d8 on his part. Okay, good. And now queen d8, good. Rook e6, excellent. Very nice. So let's go back just a second. So knight c6 is a natural move here. But if it enables queen d6, then it's no bueno. Knight a6 would be a safe move. Notice that your knight on f3 is garbage here. Sorry, Mr. Knight, but you're garbage. All right, so natural, but maybe a mistake. And probably queen d6 is better here. Good. And then excellent tactic. And you say it's equal, I have no idea. To me, I have no idea. Maybe you're better. B2, and now you play knight h4, and you lose the d4 pawn. So it's these kinds of mistakes that are going to work you. If you played rook here and then knight h4 next, I think you're fully in business. In fact, I'm not sure what's going on, because then you'd have knight f5 and rook d7. Knight g6. Yeah, we got to try. I think we have to try knight e2. Rook takes d5. Knight f5? No, that isn't it. Just play rook takes d5. Yeah. Okay. Oh, you got him. Welcome to the dojo. Welcome to the dojo, buddy. What happened here? There's things I don't quite understand. Do I need to understand them? I don't know. Some strange things. Okay, we're going to call it. We're going to call it. Took way longer than it should have, but you end up winning this game. So, well done. That was a lot. That was a good game to analyze. Very good annotations. Some moves I didn't understand. Maybe I would have wanted some explanations about what's going on. They got on a call about G4. That's good. They got on a call about Bishop G5. Yeah, that's funny. So it just means move found reviewing with another player. Great. In terms of the opening, what I would want to say is when you play the advance, you are looking to punish the fact that black spent 2 tempi getting this pawn here. So his disadvantage is it takes him 2 pawns, 2 moves to get there, time. His advantage is his bishop is, unlike the French bishop, able to get out. Okay, so let's go back. And now we have YOLO chess, the famous YOLO chess. And he says, this marks my first time graduating through USCF rather than ChessCom. I think from here on, I will start focusing more on openings. I noticed in my last couple tournaments that my openings will often get me into a disadvantage into the middle game that I will have to work hard to turn around. It shouldn't be that way. And what's cool is, this is the moment in the dojo training program, 1200, 1300, where we're like, yes, you can do some openings. I think you don't want to get your expectations too high in terms of how it will help you. In general, I will say, most of the games you're going to play in terms of opening are going to be against opponents who give you time. They'll give you tempi, right? They're not going to play the book moves. So it's more about understanding some of the dynamics of the openings you play than, let's say, learning some theory. All right, here's YOLO chess. Very good work since basically August. Beautiful. And he's gone up a ton of points. Very impressive. And you can see with ChessCom, he's way up there with 15. He's in Chicago. Beautiful stuff. And let's see what we got over here. This is YOLO chess. Now, this is Elite Chess Lone Wolf game. I just want to look, though, if there's one that's that is a OTB, I would have picked that. I don't see one immediately, though, so we'll stick with this guy. Now, YOLO chess might have a time management problem. The only way we'll excuse him if somehow he really knew all of his opening up into move 16. Okay, so we'll mark it as reviewed. Anytime I mark something as reviewed, it basically gives them a little notification in case they missed the grad stream. I think it even tells them where to find it. I don't know. In terms of what timestamp. I don't know if it actually does that, though. Good moves. Good moves. Okay. Great. So 10 moves, you're playing GM level. A6, I don't know. Now you do a very frisky move here, H4. In fact, I'm going to keep up this time graph over here on the side. I would say even though, you've got spent 2 minutes on this, I don't know about H4. It's an interesting move. I think I like it, actually. I think actually maybe I like it a lot. Yeah, excellent. We're going to give you an excellent there, buddy. You gave yourself a funky move, Mark. I'm giving you an excellent. Because I think the way to understand this opening is to say, this is my bad piece. If I can get him to do something, then I get the bishop out. And so what's going on here is if and when he takes, if he doesn't take, we'll just play like bishop or just H5. If he takes, we're going to get his best minor piece, his bishop. And we get our knight there for free. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now he talks about queen h5. The big question I would have on queen h5 is, could white play a plan with g3, king g2, rook h1? I don't know. It looks scary to me. Queen e7. Boom. 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 Now, definitely queen d3. And the thing that I want you to see most of all is that you played it with 2 seconds. Okay? That's the big, it's not the mistake of the move that counts, it's the mistake that you didn't think about it. And, right. We also want to stress that on f5, even if you missed like ef, king f6, rook e6, there's queen g3. Though honestly, you could do queen g3 after f5 here too. So he looked at queen h4 and f4. So this is hot. This is hot. I don't know. To me, queen g3. So he looks here at f4, bishop f4, rook f4, but doesn't white here have knight e6 check and then pick up Mr. Rook and have a great game? That's what it looks like to me over there. So now this goes down and now we're lost, I think. Well, we'll see. It looks bad. All right, so now knight h5 happens. I'm just looking for other things. I think, okay, so this is a pretty opposition. I just want to say maybe e5. All right, knight h5. King f6. Rook e3. Spicy. And now the guy plays g6. Maybe king takes g5. I don't know. It's complicated. So it looks like he's winning. Good moves. Unnecessary. If he wants, if Black should say, if you want to take there, buddy, you please fix my bishop. Snip. Okay. Well, you played a great game. You know, one of the things here to say about this, also in regards to your remark on the openings, is for you to even come up with the idea of h4 says to me that you have a very good handle on what's going on in this opening. What did I say before? I said they're going to give you time, like this, right? Yeah. So, genius level play, I think very dangerous for Black in this position. Okay, so we've reviewed that game. And next up we have Hailbow. I think that's who we've got, is Hailbow here. Graduated a second time here. Looks like they're doing almost exclusively tactics. Chess steps. Games. Oh my god, we got Sensei Review. We have all kinds of stuff here. It says Sensei Review, but then nothing's in it. All right. This is from a long time ago, from Hailbow. I don't know where to look. This is too confusing to me. Okay, so I don't think we have recent games. Oh, this one's recent enough here. All right, so this is Tiffany C against Alejandro. Again, I think it's OTB, but you can bring the times in. Mark it as reviewed. We'll go to game review. This is a full holy moly. So, normally DE5 is the main move, or E3. This seems like it's just fine for Black. I like knight f6 better than bishop e6. reasonable move. Okay, so black is doing fine, but bishop c3 is a little frisky because you've lost the dark square bishop. And then you have to defend c7. Okay, so you're playing a pawn grubber here. You played e3, knight e7. And this is at least a good try. So you talk about bishop e3, but he's got issues here. So for example, I think it's she actually, but she would have issues. Wait a second. I got real questions. Okay, right. I get it. Bishop b3. I didn't even see the rook for a second. Even here though, what's got to be said, she's got issues because we're threatening this and we're threatening king b2. Yeah, we got good play. Black should not have been a pawn grubber. All right, blunder, good move. I think that's a good move because now we get the... Oh, we also have bishop d6. Wow, knight g5. Okay. Genius level. Genius level. Very nice. Very nice. So here, this is a mistake because we're activating the rook and going to allow him to play b3. And now rook d2 comes. Excellent move. Excellent. So this is just a blunder by black to trade things off because it makes things easier. And now we're going to look at your techniqueo. It looks good for technique. I don't know why we didn't play king e6, but okay. Oh, nice move. Well done. That's what they get. That's what they get. I think the times would have really helped us understand a little bit more of the dynamic of what was going on in that game. All right, beautiful. Let's go back to the Crad show. And now we got Wheat Belly. Look at how many we got to go, buddy. Dang. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm good. I just told myself, I'm not going to try to finish today. It's too much. It's too much. Okay, so here we got Wheat Belly. I haven't played often enough since my last graduation. It's hard for me to find times when I'm free and ready to play with the longer time controls. I focus more on tactics, which I could do in smaller chunks. I lost a couple of games due to bad positional play, then started to concentrate on middle games. I learned a lot from Jesse's course, though I still don't understand the rules for counting pieces off the back rank as undeveloped and pieces on the back rank as developed, or for giving ourselves a tempo for the opponent's uncastled king. So we're going to look at Kharkiv, and maybe also we'll give a chance for talking about how to count Tempe. All right, so here's Wheat Belly. Dude is working hard. Look at that, especially from the summer onwards. Okay, so he's got 1,300. We got clubs, 50 plus. All right. It's good to see someone progressing in the 50 plus crew. All right, we're going to look for Kharkiv. There he is. And hopefully we'll be able to talk about Tempe here. So here's our time management. And the first thing we want to say here is the obvious, is that you're playing some chump who isn't thinking at all. At all. Okay, so he did the engine analysis after the annotations. Well done. So, good. Good. And now E5. Generally a mistake because of now knight G4 and the pawn is very weak. Right? Now, the thing we should say here with such a committal decision is that you played this a little too fast with knight D5. C take, D4. C takes. I think white should definitely consider taking on D5. And now bishop C5, and now not a good move here, knight C6. So your knight D5 was controversial from the start because Black could have wailed on you here, but now after either bc6 or dc6, you don't have that problem anymore. Personally, I like dc6 a little bit better, but okay, bc. Yeah, I like dc better. Just makes your positional simpler because you don't have a backward pawn. Terrible move. Now you're doing great. d6, I like that move. That wasn't it. And now you just got a beautiful center. Good. Rook b8. Here. a4 doesn't make any sense. Rook b4. Very nice, simple move. Queen h5. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know. If you know what he's doing, you'd let me know. So, fba, good. I think c4 is another option. And there it is. Stockfish says so. So look, when you're at this level, you'll often find players who are just, they can either try to like go for some stereotypical attack or they'll start threatening stuff. But think about it. That in order to mate you, he's going to need these guys involved as well. It's these guys alone aren't going to be able to mate you. c4 looks good to me. Good. And now some chump move no one understands. We're breaking through. Now it's going to be White's king who is the hunted. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And now he can resign. There you go. That's what he deserves. He abandons the game. He didn't even resign. He just abandoned the game. So well done. We were going to talk about Tempe. Notice that this pawn move is not necessarily a developing move. You need 2 pawn moves to get the bishops out, right? And c5 is not a bad move, but it's important just to say, oh, that's not a developing move. So at this point, we're going to say White's up 2 Tempe. e5 doesn't affect the tempo count. Knight g4 was better. d4, I like bishop d5 better, but okay. And then that's terrible, mostly from a strategic point of view. But White is still technically up in time. And here's a good move for White. White should have very much considered queen g4, gaining time on the black king. Okay, beautiful. Let's move on. And we'll get a chance to talk Tempe in a different game. So he says, please review the game in my games, not annotated games. This game is with a buddy who is 1900 ChessCom and is emblematic of my current challenges with my style. He is aggressive and I lose with White. I've got to where I am today by being positionally inclined, safe, and waiting for a mistake, then capitalize and hold on even small advantages through endgames. I feel this is now holding me back as I am having a hard time improving as I am not forcing enough. Okay, we'll take a look. So, well, he didn't tell me the name of the guy, but we'll probably be able to find him. All right, this is either Crow-Sif or Crows-If or Crow-Sif. Here we're going to give him a follow. He repairs steam turbines by day. Wow. Okay, chess by night. So we'll click this out. Beautiful. Especially recently, he's really going for it. 14, 15. He could graduate again. Detroit and Midwest. Lifting heavy things, my friends. I'm telling you. If you want to progress in chess, apparently you need to be lifting heavy things. All right, so my games. And this is all we got. So I'm going to go here. And so, yeah, he's 1900 ChessCom. This is the right game. Now, people stop thinking here. We'll see what's going on. Maybe someone was winning. But in general, a pretty good time graph. Let's keep the time graph open. Okay. Fine. Fine. D5, probably a reasonable move. Bishop E7 comes to mind. Poor. Because, well, because you're Bishop was kind of a cool piece. And now he's got a grip on the d4 square. Okay. Poor because you're not developing. Boom, boom. So, you're a little worse here. It's not the end of the world, but you're a little worse. Poor, not developing. We want queen e2. e5. h3. Not great because it's not developing. Knight g5, you love this. You played knight b5, b4, now we're going knight g5. Now he plays f6, which is probably okay. Bishop d5 maybe is more fighting. f4, frisky. You say white needs to do something. White doesn't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. All right. So it's unclear to me if I like this move because I'm not sure what you're actually doing. Right? Probably reasonable. Queen f3. And, okay, so we're going to get an exchange. Queen d4, you have bishop e3. Oh, gf. Oh my gosh. Yeah, okay. But now we're just in big trouble, aren't we? We're just in big trouble. So queen f3 wasn't it. You're committed, I guess, to play fe now. And black, I don't know, you write fe, he has a choice. I don't know whether knight e5 or fe. It's a bit of a thing. You played f4, though. You're the one who did it. You got to now commit. You could also play bishop e3. But queen f3, no bueno. Now he's just winning some stuff. Knight e2 looks winning. And now knight c1 is a blunder. Knight c3 for sure. Okay. Rook a8. Rook cd1. Rook d5. Good move. King f7. Good move. g5. And now you play d4. Now, we're down a pawn. This one's hard for me to get behind because if he just plays rook fd8, I don't know how we get out of dodge there, you know. But he does this, which is maybe not the smartest. You activate your king. He should definitely play cd4. Okay. Poor move. He needs to bring his king in. It's still about time. I'm not sure I understand a4. Good. Good. Now he makes a committal move here I'm not sure about. Good. And now rook f1. I can imagine this being, well, it's a little bit interesting. So all of a sudden the game has gotten a little double-edged. Now, I want to stress something here about the time. We see this at the dojo all the time with lower-rated players, is that what goes on is when they reach the end game, over here, they stop thinking, right? And what I want to stress is this is a very complicated position. It is a very complicated position. There's a lot to analyze here. Yeah, there's a lot. I think king c4 is interesting. Rook e1 is interesting. Rook c1 is interesting. You played rook d1. b5, I don't know. I think you should consider rook e1, yeah? And now you're lost. Right, now it's all the coconuts are falling. Okay, so the main thing for you to realize, and this is also for people around your level, is that people stop thinking when they get to the end game. You see it here on the time graph. And what's important to say is that two things are happening. One, people are tired, okay? And there's only so long that people can think for before they crack. Stronger players can last longer. Two, when we get to the end game, a lot of players are just like, what am I doing? And usually in the end game, that's when you have to calculate. There's a lot to think about here. There's a lot of sequences that all of a sudden we have to think about what concretely is going to happen. And so it's precisely the time that we need to think. And instead, people are so turned off by the concrete calculation that they have to do that they just make impulsive moves. All right. So this is, I think, yeah, this is our Ollie lifter from earlier. He's being generous because I was messing with him. But he's there in the chat. So thank you for being, what do we say, a good sport with me making fun of you. Of course, I don't have anything against Ollie lifting. My friends, I'm going to be back tomorrow. I got to get ready for this podcast. We are, gosh, there's so many graduates today. So let's just make sure I mark this. Yeah, there's so many graduates. We got the famous Andrew Rimmer coming up. We have Ambush. We have Chenid. We have all these guys, SB and McManus, all these guys, famous dojoers. So we're going to cover that tomorrow. All right, we're going to raid somebody too. Who are we going to raid? Lots of famous people here we can raid. Let's raid somebody we don't know. We'll raid #chess. Ba-boom. All right. Now, Sweet Blues is saying, to be fair to them, in this case, they had very little when it reached the end game. But that opponent gave him so much. When he got that position with G3, I had no idea what was going on. Time to think. All right, bye, everybody.